Hey everyone, it's Nightmare, and usually this is the week that I give my overall review on Sci-Fi 31 Nights of Halloween. Well, 31 Days of Halloween, whatever, it's the fucking same thing. Anyways, that schedule have not been released yet. I don't know what the fuck they're waiting for. They have this new scheduling system like AMC used to have where they only have so many days up. Kind of annoying, but oh well, what can you do about it? So I decided, well, might as well do a retrospect. As many of you guys know from my last video, I did say that this is AMC's 20th anniversary for doing beer, monster slash beer, then beer fest, I should say, not slash, but, so this is 20 years. It's, as you probably guessed, it started in 1996. And it was a little thing. It wasn't what we know it as today. It was only like 6 days. I think each year after that, it got a little bigger. And then like 1 year it shrinks down back down again, and it get bigger and bigger, and then it shrunk back down again. That's just been my experience with it. So I'm gonna just do like a little look back on how I discovered Monster Fest when it was originally called Monster Fest. And that was Halloween of 2003. That's when AMC used to go balls to the walls with their stuff. And one of the cooler things is that they had these little movie thing that weren't movies of like short like ads or something like that for Fear Fest. And one of the ones I remember was there was two ladies in the bathroom. I think one was a drag queen, and one of the one of someone was sneezing and she was holding in her sneeze, and I think the drag queen said, "Oh, that's not really good for you." And then like a few moments later, the drag queen comes running out like covered in blood. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but they had a lot of like short little things like that around 2003. I think they did it till maybe 2005, I want to say. There was a couple of years where they I think they stopped doing it, but it was kind of interesting to see that. It just a little added something, a little something. Um, so you're probably wondering, alright, well, how did you got to, loving Monster slash then Fear Fest? Well, it was actually by accident. I wasn't really into horror movies at the time. I was kind of still petrified of Freddy Krueger, so I really didn't like anything horror related. I think I saw the original Friday the 13th 2 years prior to that, and I was in 5th grade at this time, so it's like, oh, you're thinking, oh wow, you got into it, a little young or a little old, but eh, you know, it wasn't like we couldn't watch it in the house, but at the time I was dragged to church. That wasn't a fun time. But anyways, one day, I think it was right after I got out of school. So we got out of school like at 2:30, and then we got home by 3 or 2:45, depending on how quick the bus dropped us off. So we got home one day, me and my brother, we both went to the same elementary school together. Or think I think he did. Anyway, it was one of them. It was one of my two brothers. Well, three brothers. obviously the older one was in the middle. No, he was in high school at the time. Okay, so um, so anyways, my mom decorated the house. I kind of remember that. You know, it's kind of cute. Um, there was the year we lost our blow molds too. It was painful. So I turned on the TV. I was flipping through the TV, probably trying to find anything like Halloween related on. Cause it's like I think a couple of days before Halloween. Then I stumble across Halloween 4, or at least the like kind of like almost to the halfway part. I think it was I stopped started watching right around the time where Jamie was getting picked on by those three asshole kids, saying Boogeyman, Boogeyman, Jamie's Uncle the Boogeyman, and I was like, oh, what's this? You know, didn't even think, you know, what the hell I was watching. So I watched it, and I think I watched it in full, and it wasn't scary. I honestly, if you have, you know, kind of want to introduce your kids to horror, I mean, you may not want to, but it's gonna, excuse me, it's gonna happen. I think the Halloween movies are probably the best way to do it because they're not scary at all, or at least not, um, 1 through 5. I don't think they're scary at all, which is probably why I like watching them because they're good in atmosphere and all that. But not in, you know, scares probably back then, but you know, I have a soft spot for that. So I watched it and I was like, oh, this is kind of good, you know, this is something different. Um, and yeah, that's kind of how it started. And every year after that, I started watching it. I was actually, I want to say Halloween of 2005. Yes, Halloween 2005. I think was the first year they did the Friday 13th movies. Or in my recent memories, did the Friday 13th movies, and I'm like, ooh, and that kind of how I discovered Jason Lives, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a good movie. I love this movie, and you know, it's kind of interesting how you go from hating slasher and then going from like a lukewarm horror movie slasher movie and then going to like kind of one of the popular ones and then like now you're kind of deep into it. um but yeah, I want to say Halloween 2003, 4, 5 and 6 were like probably one of the better years. And I want to say Halloween of 2007 too. I I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But then come Halloween 2008. That's when they changed the name to Fear Fest. If you're probably wondering how the hell I know that, well, there's someone uploaded like all the bumpers for Monster and Fear Fest, and Fear Fest started around 2008, along with, and I think that was around the time Fear Friday was going bye-bye too. And if you guys don't know what Fear Friday was, it was pretty much like your Halloween and your taste of horror movies that on a Friday night. They used to play like really late at night. I think like around 10 o'clock. Well, not that's not late, but 10 o'clock to like early in the morning, sort of deal. So around 2008, they slimmed back the schedule for a bit, but they added a lot of good stuff. They added like Nightmare on Elm Street, which I still didn't want to even touch. Um, yeah, Elm Street, and then 2009 hit, and it was shit. Honestly, I think 2008 and 2009 was probably like the worst two in recent memories, and I know everyone said, well, the last 2 years kind of been sucking too, but I'm like, no, 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 Halloween '08 and '09 did, because it was so short. And I know I'm rambling. This is gonna be a rambling video, guys. But it was so short in the timing of it. I think it was like only like 8 days long for the 2 years. I want to say it was 8 days long. Probably was. Yeah, it was 8 days long. So they cramped everything in, or they left stuff out. Like my whole thing is that I need all the Halloween movies on Halloween. You cannot you don't have to air them any other time, but on Halloween that's just how it has to be. It has to be all the Halloween movies. Well, I think 2008 they did The Exorcist, I want to say. Then '09 was Night of the Living Dead, and that was like the big thing that year. Um, yeah, I think that what it was. It was Night in the Living Dead of '09, and it was The Exorcist in '08. So if anyone is want to say, oh, the last 2 years sucks, look back to 2008 and '09, and then you'll say, ooh, maybe we had it good. So it's been slowly getting back up there. 2010 was getting a little better. I still think in the last probably like, oh, I want to say 6 years, 2013 was probably one of the best years. I say maybe 2014 was probably like the one of the worst. A lot of people would say, oh, last year was worse. No, I think 14 was kind of one of the worst. Not because of what they did, it's just how they panned it out to be. Especially like having the 2-day Friday 13th marathons. That was kind of like a ridiculous. I like the fact that they've been starting the Halloween marathon Halloween Eve night, and then going into like early the day after Halloween. That's what I like. I kind of like that touch. Uh, so that's pretty much how I got into it. It really just me stumbling upon it. Kind of like the way I did 13 Nights. I mean, I really didn't grow up with 13 Nights. I grew up with Disney Channel, which was probably one of the best Halloween, kids Halloween programming TV blog before they fucking ruined it. I want to say back in '08, with Wiztober, or maybe it was '06. It was one of those years. Um, they ruined it. It was a horrible fucking mess. So I was like, ugh. And yeah, yeah, this is just a rambling video, guys, because I don't have a video. I'd rather put up a video this today, you know, well, this week, than miss a week, and then you're probably wondering, oh, what the hell was Syfy 31? It's coming. So I'll put it up next week. They've been doing a tight lip on these schedule, guys. I'm surprised that someone I saw in a forum been digging deep into AMC something, probably archives or something, and finding the BFS schedule, and I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, ooh, okay. So next week will be 31 days, and then the following week will be AMC's Fear Fest. That would be the 10th, and 13 Nights will be the 16th. So just so kind of goes in line with how they start and all. I wanted to start fucking syfy thing one days, but they didn't have it. So I hope you guys enjoy this little rambling. It wasn't a rant. And a little bit of my history with AMC's Monster. Well, now Fear Fest. I don't know. It'll still be Fear Fest to me. Monster Fest and Fear Fest, all that. So until next time, my lovelies, I'll see y'all later. Bye bye!